Sometimes when you're joining multiple strips together, you have this situation occur. And the strips here, when joined together, are not straight. Can you see on the board that I have this nice little curve right along the edge here? Sometimes it can be helpful when you're joining the multiples together to alternate the direction of the stitching. By that I mean when you join, let's say, these two together, you stitch in this direction, and the next pair you join in this direction, and then you just work back and forth. Honestly, it really just depends on your sewing machine. Some are a little bit more sensitive to this than others. So if you find that this is occurring and you're stitching all in one direction, just simply try the other and see if that will help remedy the problem. There are a couple things you can do if you're at this stage rather than ripping it all out. And the first is to take it over to your pressing board. So let's go here. And I like to use a little bit of spray starch or spray sizing and try to straighten it out right here. And part of the problem, in addition to perhaps the direction that it's been sewn, is that not all of the fabrics are created equal as far as the weight. Some fabrics are a little bit more loosely woven, and that will contribute to the bowing. So whenever you're stitching, you have to allow the machine to do the work for you and not, not pull or tug in either direction, because that too will help create some of the problems. So I've given a little bit of a press here. It's straightened it out just a little bit, but there's still a bit of a bow. So I'm going to bring it back to my cutting mat. Oh, it's a little bit better already. There's just a slight dip here. But let me show you what we can do, because often when you have a strip set like this, the next step is to cut it, to subcut it into smaller units. So let's go ahead and do some of that, and I'll show you how I can deal with the bow in here. So let's make the first cut. And I'm using the line on the board and paying attention to the cutting on both the top and the bottom. So usually what happens is I can get maybe 3, 4 real nice cuts that are even on both sides, and then all of a sudden when I make it to the dip, I have to make a little bit of an adjustment. So let me show you what happens here. Looks like I'm going to get one more, but I'm getting up to this bow. And now here I have to shift it because I'm aligning it on both the top and the bottom. And in doing that, I have a little bit wider extension on this side. So I'm just going to simply flip it around and trim it down. So I have compensated for the bow, gotten rid of the excess, and now it's nice and straight.